my grandpa in Haiti was an evangelist.
Okay.
One time my auntie was telling me a story. She was there with him, and she said there was a big pile this guy had, and there was all type of crazy stuff. Like one of them was like a wooden board with a bunch of human teeth on it. It was gnarly stuff, big pile. They go to light it, but my grandpa gets a check and said, "That's not everything. There's more." They're worshiping. Eventually, he goes back to his house and comes out with a live snake in a glass bottle that apparently was the physical manifestation of the demon this guy would bow down to and get his instructions for every day.
Oh my gosh.
So now everybody in the village is there. They're looking at that snake. And he said, "You have to light the fire." So he gives it to the voodoo priest. The voodoo priest takes the match. Boom. And when the fire hit, the snake in the glass bottle disappeared.
Wow.
So the enemy cannot stand the fire and the power of the Holy Spirit. It's not a fair fight.
Wow. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Pound for Pound Leader Podcast. I am your host, Mike Kai. It's so good to have you guys here today. Don't forget to like, subscribe it, share it, leave a good comment. If you leave a bad comment, we're taking it off. But anyway, I'm excited today because today I have my good friend all the way from Kona, all the way from the Middle East, a little stop in a place called Toronto. My good friend, Christophe Ulysses, and he is a great man of God, and I'm excited to have him here on the podcast. Come on, would you welcome him, everybody? Christophe, welcome.
Hey. So good to be here.
It's good to have you, man.
Man, you're, I get emotional talking about it, but you just mean so much to me and my friends and how you bless us. And we just really look up to you as a big brother. And you're, I don't want to start. It's too early to start weeping right now, but I love you, man.
Joy comes in the morning.
Hey, no one like you. No one like you, man. I love you so much, bro.
Yeah, I remember when we first met.
Yeah. That was wild.
That was wild.
The Hawaii revival map that you pulled out. It was like...
I was nervous.
It was like a scroll, bro.
It was.
You like...
Yeah. For the people that are watching, I got an opportunity to speak on the Hawaiian revival. And I was the first guy that was a pastor from Hawaii that got invited to speak at University of the Nations.
Boom.
Loren Cunningham, the founder, on that big stage at the Ohana Court. And they heard that I had spoken about the Hawaiian revival. And I was going, and I was super nervous, bro.
Right.
I remember I brought Clint, John Termini. They all came with me and drove me all the way to this one part of Kona, almost like Kealakekua. And I did not know who I was going to meet.
Right.
I didn't know. And that's where they wanted me to go first.
Right.
And what was the name of that house?
Yeah, so that's King's Mansion. Okay. So if you've ever read that book, Is That Really You, God? Kind of the history of Youth with a Mission and our origin story. That's the house in Kona that they saw in prayer. The White House with the green shutters.
Okay.
So that's kind of the OG spot for us on that side, Kona side.
So for those of you who are wondering about Youth with a Mission, it's called YWAM, Youth with a Mission, founded by Loren and Darlene Cunningham. What year did they start that?
I want to say 69. Oh, that's bad. But I want to say 69.
Okay, right about that time frame.
Yeah, and 69 in Lausanne, in Switzerland.
Switzerland.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Which is interesting because at that time, like, we're like, it's so nuts right now with everything happening, with Gen Z and the wildness there, right? Mm-hmm. But then you hear Auntie Dar tell the stories and they're like, yo, it was like the love movement. People were like having open relationships, having sex in the parks when they're out doing evangelism, like wild and dropping acid and stuff. And it was... at that point where they needed to have a return to truth. Not only what do we believe, but why do we believe what we believe? So going deep into like the foundation of apologetics. And at that time, Labrie Institute with Francis Schaeffer was out of Lausanne, Switzerland. So it's really interesting that this missions movement is birthed kind of beside that in Switzerland.
So tell us a little bit more about what is YWAM. Tell us.
Yeah.
Give us the 30,000 foot. Okay.
So it starts off there, just some young people that just have faith to go and preach the gospel. And the vision starts with my mentor, Uncle Loren. And he had that vision of waves of young people hitting the map, and at that time, Mike, this is revolutionary. At the time, you had to have your master's in theology to do missions. And it kind of made sense because it's like you got to get on a boat. That's going to be maybe how many months? 5 months before you get to the country. You got to have minimum master's of theology, maybe, and oftentimes they recommended a professional medical as well, right? So you really have something to offer when you go. But he's getting this revolutionary vision of young people now just going to the ends of the earth. And it's amazing because it simultaneously comes at the same time as commercial flight. So now all of a sudden it's available for everyone to go.
Right.
So it starts off right there. And there's a whole wild backstory. Again, I recommend you check out the book. But now where it's at, the 30,000 foot view is we are now in over 190 nations with over 2,400 operating locations. And the majority of our workers are non-Western. And yeah, God is so good.
Preaching the gospel.
Preaching the gospel, mercy ministry, and training.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
At one point I said if I hadn't entered straight into church ministry, I would have done a DTS. YWAM DTS. What's a DTS?
So DTS is like our boot camp. So, if you look at all these bases, like military, our missions bases are like military bases kind of. Okay. And to get in, I love it because it's amazing thing. Sometimes you do have people who are maybe CEOs of major Fortune 500 companies, or you have someone who's just saved, just barely, or not even yet, but everyone comes into that boot camp of the discipleship training school, the DTS. It's 6-month program, 3 months lecture phase, and then about 2 to 3 months on the field somewhere. So then you pray, you ask God in that lecture phase, Lord, what country are you sending me to, along with the staff, and then you get deployed.
This is incredible. So, so is that in any way other than the non-spiritual aspect of the Peace Corps?
I'm not really familiar with the Peace Corps to be able to speak to that, but yeah, depending on what campus you go to, man, it could be more like the SEALs, my guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. No. Depending on where you go, for sure.
So how do you get into Youth with a Mission?
So yeah, you literally go online, you Google the spot.
How did you do it? How long have you been in it, and how did you get there?
Okay, so bro, we're talking about back in time.
Okay.
This is back in time. I think I had a Discman or something.
I got a lot of time, bro.
I know.
I got a lot of time. Time on you. I'm like 15 years older than you or something. Anyway, keep going.
So I kind of it was wild because I actually came out. It was in Hawaii. I just came to visit my auntie, kind of a family trip, and I started getting these dreams. That's how the Lord got me. That's how I got saved. 3 cinematic dreams. At that time, I'm starting to think, well, I got to leave the chaos that I'm involved with back in my hometown. And just at that age where I'm, 19, so needed to go to the next step, the next stage of life. So I said, why not University of Hawaii? My auntie says there's a Christian university in Kona. I Google that, and it's University of the Nations. So YWAM has...
football team, no basketball team? None? Okay. Intramurals.
Yeah.
Pick up ball. Okay, keep going. Sorry.
Yeah. So then, but I Googled it. I was like, what? You get to help the poor and preach the gospel in these countries as part of your course? This is amazing. So I didn't know about the YWAM side. I only knew about their university side initially. So I went out there. I just thought it was a Christian university. And then I realized, as I then read the book later, and I realized this is a movement. This is one of the largest missions movements on the earth right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so did you grow up a Christian?
No. Didn't.
Tell us. Let's go back. Okay.
Yeah, we could go back a little bit.
Okay.
Because I think it's so wild how the Lord has a destiny on you, even before the womb. So the story goes... there's like a Canadian pastor, right? Small church, small little country church, Canada, Ontario.
Okay.
And someone comes from Compassion, it's like World Vision, and they say, hey, we're doing a program in Haiti to help the poor and feed the poor, and sponsor some kids. And he said, well, I'd like to go down there and see where the money's going. And so I said, sure, come. Now, for the first several days, it was so much poverty, so much shock that all he could do for the first 2 days was cry and pray. He couldn't get up and do the itinerary and everything that they had set up for him. So finally his host comes to him, the liaison says, I know how hard it's been for you, but I want to show you how there's light in even the most darkest of places.
Okay.
And so takes him out, introduces him to a young man. The young man self-taught himself on the radio English through listening to the BBC. So Haitian, teenager, but with a British accent.
Wow.
And just
Wow.
and suddenly this pastor just hears, this sense from the Lord to invite him to come back and live with his family in Canada. And goes, he said, wow, that's a big, massive move. What do you mean? Like, who are you? So let's go back. Let's meet your parents. I want to talk to your parents. They sit down and he's saying, yeah, I feel from the Lord. I want to invite him to come down. He can come to university in Canada and this opportunity. Now, the boy's parents, they just turn back and they're like kind of nonchalant though about it, for what you would expect the reaction to be. They're, yes, praise God. No, this is good. Yes, yes. And he's like, I don't know if you've ever been in a situation where you're like, is the translator really saying what I'm saying? So he says it again, tries to reframe it. Like, I can't guarantee your whole family coming. This is the opportunity just for him. Says it, translation goes in Creole. They come back. They're like, yes, praise God. This is, yes. And so he says it a third time and he's trying to reiterate. But then they interrupt and they say something in Creole. The translation comes back and it says, no. See, we're not surprised. We knew you were coming our son's whole life. We were just waiting for this day. Haitian young man is my dad.
Wow.
And that Canadian pastor, that's my Canadian grandpa. And brings him down from Haiti, bro.
Okay.
From Haiti.
Wow.
But this is before, you can do long distance calls like that and all that. So it was just by faith that his wife, my Canadian grandma and everyone opened him up to come live with the family.
Okay.
Whole wild story there. But my grandpa in Haiti was an evangelist.
Okay.
And his technique, how everyone, when you're doing like an outreach, whether it's backpack haircuts, whether it's door to door, whether it's whatever the strategy is, right? Paul would first go to the synagogue and he would, or he would debate, everyone has their strategy. My grandpa's strategy in Haiti is he would go around, because every Haitian village has a voodoo priest. They call him a Hougan.
You call him a what?
Hougan.
Houga. Okay.
Yeah, a Hougan.
A Houga. Got it.
Yo, so then
they got a Haitian priest.
A voodoo priest. Voodoo priest.
Like, we're talking about dolls, poke you.
We're talking about
curses.
Yeah, we're talking about, like, there's wild stories.
I know. I want to ask you, but keep on going.
Yeah, it's gnarly. So there's like a saying that it's like, 20% Protestant, 80% Catholic, but 100% voodoo. That's the saying that they have there, right?
Yeah.
So there's like documented cases where Napoleon's troops are fighting the Haitian revolutionaries. That was the only successful black slave revolution in history was out of Haiti. And Napoleon's troops firing point blank, but guys coming with machetes with their eyes rolled in the back of their heads, still coming at Napoleon's troops. Napoleon's troops running and going back on the ships, refusing to fight. Right? So the voodoo stuff is gnarly. They're tapping into a real demonic force.
So they brought the guys from Haiti to go fight.
No. This is in Haiti. So the French...
Napoleon went to Haiti?
Yeah, they colonized. They brought the blacks from Africa to work the sugarcane fields in the island there in the Caribbean.
And Napoleon was part of that?
Napoleon, yes.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so they called it the Pearl of the Caribbean. It was the #1 manufacturer of sugar for all of Europe, right? But it was brutal. The level because it was just the ratio was so vast. So they had to be so brutal in their techniques of slavery, right?
Yeah.
So now, could you imagine the voodoo? They said, but if this is Christianity that's enslaving us, if this is the cross that's putting us in these shackles, and they would do horrendous things, bro. Like way more gnarly than it was in America. But they said, if this is Christianity that's enslaving us, then whoever's the opposite of Christianity must be the one who can give us the power to free us. So that's when they went to voodoo.
Wow.
In a famous sacrifice called the Bookman sacrifice. But there was a real demonic power, a physical power that was tapped into that gave the power to overcome. Napoleon even sold Louisiana to America in the Louisiana Purchase to help quell this slave revolution. Ended up becoming the
Wow.
only successful black slave revolution in history, but at what cost? You know, look at Haiti still to this day.
Yeah, let me ask you a question. So the Dominican Republic and Haiti are one big...
Yeah, it used to be called Hispaniola. It was
Okay.
one island.
One island.
Yeah, but then the Spanish took the Dominican side and the French kept Haiti
Okay,
side.
so it's split right down
Down
the
the
middle.
middle. And you can see it on Google Earth. It's like,
There's a difference.
oh,
On one side, you can probably, it's
Yeah.
greener.
yeah,
The people are happier.
yeah.
And on the other side, all you see is
yeah.
assassination attempts against presidents, voodoo spells. The people are still majorly impoverished. Is voodoo the reason?
Well, here's the thing is worldviews have consequences. You know, not all worldviews are created equal. Like, know a tree by its fruit, and
Yeah.
it's the byproduct. Like, to give you an example, and this is tough. I know some of my Haitian family watching this, it's tough to hear, you know. But just to give you an example, imagine. So this is part of the. So you have service on Sunday. We worship Jesus. We have our values. We have the belief system, and that creates something in the expression of that belief system, right? But just to give you a picture of the voodoo service, one of the things that happens is you have different offerings for these spirits, and then they summon them, and the goal is for someone in the service to get what they call mounted by one of these spirits.
In a
Possessed.
church.
In the voodoo ceremony.
Okay, in the voodoo
Yeah,
ceremony.
Yeah,
Okay.
in the voodoo ceremony. So you offer alcohol, you offer cigarettes, you offer whatever to these spirits.
That you're summoning.
You're summoning, and the goal is that someone will get possessed and then manifest that demon in the service.
Why is that the goal? Because that would be like fun to watch.
Well,
like,
it's a power. There's
Yeah.
a power. And if you go to a lot of, this is common in a lot of nations, right, where you don't have access to medical care. So then you can't go to get whatever medicine necessary that you need from CVS.
So you go to the witch doctor.
They go to the witch doctor, and there's a measure of power. It's like Pharaoh's magicians, you know?
Okay.
And that's how they ensnare, and that's how they entrap. And it gets so integrated then, like that idea of 100% voodoo. So you have a Hugan, the voodoo priest, in every village for the most part. And of course, that's just a broad
Does the
statement.
Huga have a lot of power over the people?
Yes. So this is why my grandpa's strategy, he going after the heart. He's going after the bind up the strong man, plunder the house.
Okay.
So he would walk around village to village with his Bible and a can of gasoline, and he would go first, knock on the Hugan's door and say, "I know you're tormented. Would you like to be set free?"
Wow.
The enemy doesn't share power.
Wow.
He's not ruling from a boardroom in hell. He himself is being tormented right now. So that power comes at a cost, a high price of the torment that the voodoo priest has to endure constantly.
Right.
This is good news. This is literally what the gospel means, right?
right.
It's good news. Like, hey, I got the best news ever. You don't have to be tormented. Would you like to be set free? And oftentimes they would be like, yes. So then he would share the gospel with them. And then when they gave their life to Christ, like Acts, I believe it's in 17, where the magicians came and put all their stuff in the center, they would burn it. So that was the blueprint for my grandpa. And they would bring all their paraphernalia into the center. That's where the can of gasoline came in handy.
What?
And he would have the...
It's not for your motorcycle, bro. No. It's for all your incantation books.
Yeah, facts,
all
bro.
your cards.
Yes.
Wow.
One time my auntie was telling me a story. She was there with them, and she said there was a big pile this guy had, and it was all type of crazy stuff. Like one of them was like a wooden board with a bunch of human teeth on it, and this gnarly stuff, big pile. And they're they go to light it, but my grandpa gets a check and said, "That's not everything. There's more." And so guys like, look at my pile. And this, I still to this day, no one knows, right? If he was intentionally trying to hide this thing, or if it was just so integrated in him that it was like camouflaged, to not come to his mind. But, okay, let's just worship. Let's just, invite the presence of God and see what happens. But my grandpa had to check, there's something more. They're worshiping. Eventually he goes back to his house and he comes out with a live snake in a glass bottle that apparently was the physical manifestation of the demon this guy would bow down to and get his instructions for every day.
Oh my gosh.
So now everybody in the village is there. They're looking at that snake And it's actually a common practice too. But anyways, to have these physical manifestations of the different spirits. So they go, and he said, you have to light the fire. So gives it to the voodoo priest. The voodoo priest takes the match, boom. And when the fire hit, the snake in the glass bottle disappeared.
Wow.
So the enemy cannot stand the fire and the power of the Holy Spirit. It's not a fair fight.
Wow.
It's not a fair fight.
Remember when we were having coffee about 9 months ago?
Yeah.
Before you went to the Middle East?
Yeah.
We're at Starbucks.
Yeah.
Out in the town that I live in.
Of course.
And that lady came by screaming.
Yes.
Right? And you said, should we set her free now? Yeah. I'm like, I don't know, man. Maybe not today.
Yeah.
Maybe not today.
I mean, she's got to want it.
She's got to want it.
Or they'll come back stronger.
Yeah. Wow.
But we stay ready. We stay ready. Those critters got to go. They got to go. Hey, if you're watching this and you feel like you're being tormented, I just tell you right now, the blood of Jesus can set you free right now. Be free in Jesus' name.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah. So
your dad.
So this is the backstory. Yeah. So my dad is this kid. He's the oldest of the 7 siblings.
Okay.
Under my grandpa. And then comes to Canada, and somehow I'm not sure in that transition, or how everything went down. But for me, growing up, my family didn't go to church. So for me, growing up, it was just like, I remember having. Yeah.
So your dad never went to church though, after when he got married.
Yeah.
So is your mom from Canada?
Yeah, my mom's from Canada. French. She speaks French.
Okay.
And
she's white Canadian.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Amazing, Sandra. Amazing. She is the woman that prayed me into salvation.
Okay, so your mom is Sandra. Who's your dad? What's his name?
Tennyson.
Wow.
Yeah, legend, bro. Still like my hero to this day, bro. Yeah, he's like.
How old is he?
I don't even know the age. I said, as long as you can still play soccer, I'm not even asked. He's still out there playing like 3 times a day, coaching. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but he's just a real hero. His character is just something I aspire to. Just incredible, man. Okay. You would love him.
Yeah.
And so wise. I mean, he speaks like, I don't know, 7 or 8 languages or something.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But for some reason, that part of it wasn't really there for me growing up. And I think it was more like laissez-faire, and I'm not really sure that's his story to tell. But at some point, my mom goes full on back, gives her life to the Lord. I don't know, maybe I'm in the 5th grade. And
you're in the 5th grade.
5th grade, but it's hard because my dad's not going to church. It's basketball on Sundays, it's soccer tournaments. You know what I mean? So that's not really at the center. Even though he's modeling this incredible example, I don't have the substance. I don't have the fuel to for anything. Like, man, this is the easy way to put it. This is like just fast track to give the snapshot of what that road ended up to. One of my closest friends ended up getting his throat slit. One of my closest friends ended up doing time in jail for a murder case. One of my friends ended up doing time in jail for selling a lot of cocaine and guns. Just to give you a picture, right? And we weren't even like super hard or feeling like we're like, you know what I mean? This is like, I come from an amazing home, like amazing.
Yeah. I didn't know Canadians are like that,
bro,
dude.
Bro, I know. God help us, bro. The 6 is crazy, but yeah, fam. So then, but here's the thing: if they have no meaning of life, then why not live like a cowboy?
Yeah.
Why not? If and this is what I'm being taught in science class, right? Which is bacteria that's evolved on this rock, and it's survival of the fittest. So if my team can take something from your team, then that was fun. That was a fun, evening for us, just to go out and live like the law of the jungle.
So your mom prayed for you?
But my mom's praying for me.
Okay.
And this is haunting me. Like, I'm coming home, I could see the light on underneath, in the guest room, and I hear her like 3:00 in the morning. And I'm like, and sometimes she wouldn't be eating at meals. And I didn't understand fasting or anything, but I hope that's not because of me, connected to, these prayers I'm hearing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when get those 3 dreams. Get those 3 dreams. And which is actually really significant as it flows into where we are at now, I think, with the journey and the Middle East, but that's over here. Because so many in the Middle East right now are coming to the Lord through dreams. And I can empathize, but here's the thing. I know we're jumping, but it's an interesting placeholder. Because imagine, so I'm having these 3 cinematic dreams. I know where to go that morning, bro. I go to my mom and I said, Mom, like, I'm shook. I'm shook. The first dream,
3 dreams in one night?
no, this is like a series, like,
Okay.
spread out.
Okay.
But one of the first ones was, I'm searching for the meaning of life. And someone says, you go answer this phone in this certain location at this time, and they'll tell you the phone's ringing, and I'm running. I pick it up. It's like the meaning of life is, and I wake up and I'm like, no, what is it? And I'm trying to go back to sleep and finish the dream.
You right?
You know, but I
Wow.
knew who to go ask. I asked my mom.
Okay.
I knew who to go ask. I asked my auntie. You know what I mean? Bam, we go to the church there in Quiet, KCF, and you know, there's a sermon, and it's like, bam, things are
Wait,
hitting
you were
it.
on Kauai?
We were visiting in Hawaii when a lot of these down, because
Okay.
remember, now I'm not around the static of that mess that I'm in. We came out here to visit my auntie, and I'm getting a clear signal now. I think the dreams were able to land. I'm starting to get conviction, because there's so much static when you're still in the mix, you know?
Yeah.
So that trip was massive. So, but I knew who to go to in my dreams. Here in the Arab world, we're seeing, Tom Doyle says that we're seeing the greatest harvest in human history amongst our Muslim cousins. We're seeing more come to the Lord in the last 20 years than 1,500 years of Islam combined. And Tom Doyle says 25%, this conservative numbers, up to 50% are through a dream or
Wow.
a vision or just physically appearing.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. There's only one worker for every 400,000 people. So who do they go to when they had their dream? When they wake up and I just saw the man with fire in his eyes,
Wow.
the man in white, like, who do you go to with that? So the harvest is right, the labors are few, but it just connects back. And it's something that just, I even connected the dots with recently in this God who knows how to get us. Like, I would try to avoid him the whole time I'm awake. I'm gonna numb it. I'm gonna distract. You know what I mean? I could do all these things to avoid conviction. But bro, he can get you when you're sleeping. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna get you when you close your eyes, bro. I'm gonna get you there. Boom.
I know how to get you.
So you go to YWAM.
Yeah.
Wait, you pastor a church?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I
In Canada?
Yeah, back in my hometown, which was so fun.
What's your town?
So it's just outside of Toronto called Brantford. Shout out Brantford, Six Nations, B6. We here, we outside.
Yeah. It's the summer. We here, we outside. It ain't cold, but we inside in January.
So shout out, that was so fun. I just came back, my home church that had really brought me up and sent me out and so faithfully prayer and supported us while we've been doing missions for the time that I was in YWAM that first 7 years. Saying,
Okay.
we just need help with some new growth.
Okay. So you're in YWAM first, then you went to pastor.
Yeah, YWAM
Okay.
about 7 years and go back to pastor. That whole season was, I thought was just going to be a year. Let's just help with new growth. But it was so fun because now I'm back. It was so fun. Like just old teachers seeing me just out and they're like, and I tell them, yeah, I gave my life to the Lord. I'm pastoring now. They would laugh in my face. And I would just love their different, I picture like,
Because Americans normally wouldn't do that.
laugh in your face.
You're a pastor.
Yeah. They thought I was joking
Whoa,
because
okay.
they knew me from before.
Oh, okay. It's not a Canadian thing. It's not a liberal.
Maybe it is now.
Okay, maybe it is now.
But like,
But
we're
back
talking
then.
about, 2009.
Okay.
It was more just so they thought I was joking because they knew who I was before.
So not a Trudeau thing.
Oh, God help us. That's another podcast. Bro, you're so...
Justin Trudeau.
Lord. Yeah, all right. So...
Okay. I'm
Bro,
so what?
time out.
I'm so what?
Bro, you are like the most unique leader.
Oh, no.
No. How are you so like super local,
Yeah.
Hawaii boy, but also super global and just have a pulse on
Yeah,
what's happening?
Watch a lot of YouTube. That's where I get my news. YouTube, baby. Let's go. Hey, like, subscribe, share. No,
but yeah, so
keep going.
just interesting fact though right now
Yeah.
is just to paint a picture of that. Canada's so gnarly right now, fam. You get as a pastor, as a full-time pastor, you get 5 years in prison under the anti-conversion therapy law.
Anti-conversion therapy.
law.
What's conversion therapy?
Okay, so imagine, so it happens all the time, right? We have someone, let's say, coming to us, they're coming off of ice, they're coming off of whatever, you know what I mean? And they radically give their lives to the Lord. Like I had guys coming out of heroin addiction, coming out of Satanism, coming out of Hell's Angels, like coming out of whatever, you know, I'm discipling them and their lives are being transformed.
Right. Yeah.
But now you have someone that comes out of the LGBT plus.
Okay.
And their life is being transformed to look more like Christ.
Okay.
Now,
which is the goal for everybody.
Right. Yeah. Sin is sin, right?
Right.
So now, just like it happens, people backslide. That guy goes back. He's sleeping with his girlfriend. That guy goes back to his drugs. That guy goes back. Now, if they go back to their lifestyle, then they point and say, hey, Pastor Christophe was telling me that this lifestyle
was wrong.
On the books right now, under the anti-conversion therapy law in Canada, I could get 5 years.
Wow.
Right now. This is not like...
How do you pastor in a country like that?
Bro. Like, okay, here's an interesting...
Like you got friends who still pastor there?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Yeah.
I think, and this is my theory for everything, right? Is the light shines the brightest in the darkest places.
Right.
Right? It's just how it is. But in those times of testing, it's going to force a different breed of leader to arise.
Right.
And the ones who are not about this life, they naturally dissipate, their churches dwindle, and it's a cutoff branch, you know? But you have guys like, let's say Jordan Peterson, for instance.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just rising up. And it's this global phenomenon, but it's because they're trying to take away his job. They're trying to say you can't, you know, like, and he's standing up for against Bill C-16, against freedom of speech. So now there's at least, last time I checked under Bill C-16, there's 32 gender pronouns, okay, including, I think, worm self, that someone would say, you have to call me by this pronoun. And if you don't, that's a crime. So that is...
Like, even if I didn't want to call you Mr.
Right. But if you say, hey, this is my pronoun.
Or Mrs.
Yeah, this is the pronoun. I'm going to say that you have to now call me that, which is compelled.
She or her. You got to call me she, her.
They, them, yeah.
They, them.
Whatever the list of the 32.
Crazy.
Right? But the issue becomes, is now it's compelled speech. So now you're taking away freedom of speech. And at that point, the writing's on the wall. What else is next? We saw, I mean, don't even get me started. But that's Canada right now. So
Jordan Peterson, he left, right? Canada.
Yeah, I think
he's living in America.
Okay, yeah.
I think. I could be wrong.
Yeah, in Arizona.
Jordan, if you're listening, please shout out. Send me a DM, please, on my Instagram. Because, no, you're amazing. Jordan Peterson is amazing.
Yeah,
my daughter had him at the college.
Really?
This past semester. She said, Dad, do you know this guy? I said, who, Jordan Peterson? I said, yeah. She goes, well, he's speaking, and a lot of kids at our Christian college are protesting.
I'm at the Christian college? Where? At
Pepperdine.
I
don't know if I want to mention that, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll take it off.
Yeah.
Christian school in California, Southern Cal. But yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, how's that? Like, even in Christian colleges, you got this whole wokeism that's entered into. And I feel for Christian university presidents right now.
Yeah.
The challenge that they're going through. Like the last bastion of freedom and education and hope.
Yeah.
In that context that Christian parents want to pay good money to send their kids to.
I know for Canada right now, it's tough. It's like the private Christian schools, or a lot of people are going to homeschooling because it's so far gone.
Yeah.
And this is where I look at America, because I'm a dual citizen, and I look at America and people want to hate on America, but you don't understand how good it is here. Like, I look at it like remember the Rocky movies? And and Rocky would be just getting bust up, and it's like, the 7th round, whatever, 10th round, and he's all bleeding, but at least he's still standing.
Yeah.
He's all, and his coach, come on, Rock, but he's still standing. He's getting licking. But what other major country right now in the world is at least talking about biblical values in the national conversation?
Nobody.
America's, yes.
Not even Australia, not even New Zealand, of course, not even Canada. Not Great Britain.
Right?
Nobody.
So think about that.
I mean, if you look at South America, nope. I can't think of Asia, definitely not.
Right.
It's crazy.
We're in a wild time right now. And because of Toronto and Canada, I see where this thing goes, where child services can come and take your kid away if because they're getting taught young. Like young, I'm talking, God forbid, I mean, as young as kindergarten, this gender fluidity.
To choose their sex.
Yeah. Yeah.
God.
And you know, if they identify as something different, it could be said that child services could come and take the kid away if you're like, no, baby, what are you talking about? So it feels like a crazy like Twilight Zone or like Black Mirror episode, but it's real life right now in Canada. So this is where the road of the woke worldview leads.
Right.
And I don't think if people really understood, you know, so crime under, well, let's say under $1,000 is not a crime. Because why? We're all just this bacteria growing on a rock. There is no God. We're make up our own. But this is where I want to talk. So recently, wait, how long ago is this, man? Not that long ago, maybe the summer before last, we did an event in Toronto, downtown Toronto, Coca-Cola Arena. 7,000 people. Lecrae pulled up. I was able to share my testimony, right? Like my friend Kevin Stark shared the gospel.
Lecrae pulled up, or he was scheduled?
Yeah, he was scheduled.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah. And so we gave out a bunch of tickets in the government housing projects and everything. And, you know, like truly trying to bring in the lost to come to the event. Packed out the arena, 7,000 people. And, man, I'm sharing my testimony, Mike. I mean, I've been so humbled and honored to have ministered in a lot of different places, but you could hear a pin drop. You could feel the hunger in the room. People on the edge of their seat.
Come on.
On the edge of their seat, because it was like, imagine someone being in a desert for so long.
Yeah.
And someone just saying, yes, this was my life, because I believe that we're just evolved. We're just evolved. So why not? And then this is what God did. It was like out of that, we saw over 1,000 decisions for Christ, you know? So again, the light shines the brightest in the darkest places. And the enemy always overplays his hand. Just like World War II, like Hitler had Europe. Why are you going to go into Russia in the middle of winter? You know what I mean? And press for that when you have everything else. Why? Because self-control is the fruit of the spirit. So the enemy has no self-control. Wow. So here, what happened in Canada, it's so over the top, you know, like freezing people's bank accounts for peaceful. I mean, I'm sorry, man. We're stepping on all the landmines today. But here's the thing, bro. Here's the thing. No, but here's the thing. I'm just saying, fam,
step them.
It's I haven't been everywhere. I've been I've for our movement standard, it's not that many, but like 50 countries. I've been around. So when you're in the microcosm of whatever your little world is, you have a different perspective. But when you bro, like
you've been in 50 countries?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you gotta see like the where these things lead to, even though it starts off over here as just freezing bank accounts.
That's big.
That's huge.
That's huge. Freeze my bank account?
Right?
Because I showed up in a protest?
Yes.
To support truckers? Kidding me. And now, right now, we got people burning down our cities. Bruh. In America?
Yeah.
And they call that a peaceful protest?
Bruh.
And what if they got their accounts frozen? I would say, no, that's wrong. You can't do that.
That's what we're talking about.
You can't do that.
Yeah, because, man, I've been in countries like Pakistan, you know what I mean? Where it's like, bro, it's no joke. Like, you have no freedom.
Cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency.
Throw that out there. Yo, link is in the description. No, but but it's real, man. I see what no freedom of speech looks like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I see what totalitarian regimes look like.
So what do you think about the No Kings protest? Like
no
kings.
We out here?
Let's talk about it. No kings.
Oh my goodness.
Because not everybody can roll like this. So just so I want everybody to know on the podcast right now that it's a curated audience. You know what I mean? By now you like it. You even like it, or if you just found us, you like it by now, you're on. If you don't like it by now, you're gonna bounce. Here's what I know: there's not a lot of people that I bring on. Sammy Rodriguez, those are the kinds of people that we can have these high level cultural political discussions. And I just want everybody to know every lane is my lane.
Yeah, that is you.
Every lane is my lane. People tell me stay in your lane. I go, which one?
Yeah, bro, you're him, bro. You're him.
Stay in your lane, Pastor. Stay in your lane on Instagram. I'm like, wait, pick a lane. Which one's my lane? Anyway, it sounds kind of prideful, but it's not. Just being like,
go,
I don't know,
bro.
what lane?
Let's
So let's go. Let's go.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. To be honest with you,
No kings.
um,
I thought we were already headed
okay.
towards kingship.
Oh man, this is wild.
Globalists. Because, okay, so
I got an idea on this one.
Okay, you got an idea, but here,
Do you want to frame it up? Yeah.
Daniel,
Yeah.
the book of Daniel,
Yeah.
right? Out of the sea comes beast with 10 horns,
Mm-hmm.
10 horns, then 3, then 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
10, 3, 1. Remember the old school thinking was, oh, it's the European coalition,
Mhm.
the European Union. These are 10 nations. Out of that will come 3. Out of that will come 1.
Mm.
The way I look at it now, I think it's more the horns. Horns are power.
Yeah.
I think
That's what they are symbolically in
I
scripture.
think they're kings. Another word for globalists.
Mm.
Maybe a combination of globalists. Maybe a combination of countries.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a combination of billionaires, trillionaires
Yeah.
who are actually, you know, they got their own armies.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And out of that
Yeah.
will come the one.
Right.
Anyway,
Wow.
just throwing it out there.
Bro,
We need
no way
kings.
more time.
I agree. I agree. We don't need no kings.
Yeah,
we don't want no
but this
kings.
is the beauty about the American experiment,
Right?
You know, is that you have a term, right? Like you have these fail safes built in.
Yeah.
You know,
4 years.
Fun fact, man. George Washington, they begged him to take another term, and he said no. You know what I mean? They're like, we need you. We need you to keep this thing going. And he said, no. If I take this, and the whole thing falls apart. So we have these fail safes built in. I think it's interesting, right? Because he's definitely a polarizing figure. But there's certain hours in human history where you need certain personalities. Like Churchill. We were just talking about this, I don't know, on the way to come here in the airport with my son.
You and Clint?
No, me and my son, and he was dropping my wife and I off to come here. And we were just, I don't know how it came up, but we were talking about this idea that Churchill, if you look at his contemporaries, and at the time, he was viewed as kind of a polarizing, more of like a bombastic, figure. But you needed a personality like that was strong enough to say, I'm not going to negotiate with tyrants. You can't negotiate with the tiger when your head is in its mouth. You know, these type of things. And look at the hour that we're in. Right. With Russia, with China, now with Iran. You want somebody in office. If you can say one thing, is that he knows how to negotiate. You can't take that away from him. No. No matter what you may say, you can't take away from the fact that he grew real estate in New York City. You know what I mean? He knows how to not
he knows
back
how
down.
to make a deal, man.
Yeah.
So if we were to look at in the 20th century and the 21st century, probably the most impactful political leaders globally that affected everybody globally. We got to look at, number one, we got to look at Churchill. Okay. You got to look at Roosevelt. You got to look at maybe Kennedy. Okay. Right. Some people say he got assassinated because of about the Cuban Missile Crisis. Right. Now you got to look at, I can't think of anybody of significance that came out of America after him. Maybe Reagan. Okay. And I'm going to bypass everybody else, and I'm probably going to go to Trump.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. We could Bush, the third. We could go to Obama, Clinton, bypass all those guys. I'm going to go to Trump. Now, here's why.
Yeah.
I think President Trump, I think he is the only, or today, I can't think of any other American that could lead our country out of what we were already in.
Right.
He didn't put us there. Somebody else put us there, or a group put us there. Whoever's running the strings.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, this is the thing. Okay. Like if I have whatever other friends or whoever that Googled this and aren't a part of the curated audience that are seeing this, it is so polarizing. But here's the thing is we have to be able to, number one, get back to the place of just open discussion. Number one, right?
Yeah.
This is why I think podcast is like a major platform that is so unique that we didn't have in times past. Okay.
Right.
But so if they're tuning in, the not curated ones that are joining us, welcome. Yeah. Let me say this. I think you have to look at the fact that you can still draw a straight line with a crooked stick. Right?
Okay.
Okay, so you with me on this,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Crooked stick. You can still make a straight line.
You can still make a straight line, right? So if you look at somebody and you have to be able to separate. Now, put this, you have within America, right? So I look at you and you're definitely carrying a mantle for uh Christian kingdom-minded leadership in the state of Hawaii.
Mhm.
Okay. And you have a unique role because you're also super networked and connected across the country and then globally. But it's so easy for people on the outside to look and criticize
Yeah.
a statement like the one you had just made, right? Because you're coming from the outside. Now, there is an interesting case. This is bizarre, okay? But Toronto had a mayor at one point. And this, I don't know if you remember, Ford, okay? I think his name Rob Ford, okay?
Okay.
He's the mayor of Toronto. This man was, talk about, had his challenging issues. This dude is on video in wherever he is, downtown Toronto, caught smoking crack and just being like, hey, I'm here. But he got a lot of work done. Maybe because he didn't sleep. I don't know. You know what I mean? But he was very like cuss on the mic. Like he was just a rough man, you know, kind of a joke. He would like fumble and bumble.
Yeah.
But and so outside, so I'm not, we're in Brantford, Six Nations. So we're out here. But looking at, we're like, yo, this guy's a laughing stock of the world. Why did you vote him, Ford in as mayor of Toronto? This is our biggest city, 3 million people, and this guy is wild, How could you guys not only vote him, but supporting him? Because I talked to my grandparents, right? They love him. He's getting the garbage off the street. There's garbage strikes and the city was stinking. No one could get it done. There's all this blockage and bureaucracy, but you just needed this mayor who just got stuff done.
Crack smoking mayor that got stuff done? That's crazy. That's crazy. But how does that relate to
No, but I'm just saying what I'm saying.
Trump being like one of the main man for the hour?
Yeah, because you got guys like in the Philippines, let's say, like Duterte, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like he's viewed as, everyone on the outside is like human rights violations, right?
Right.
You had the same thing in El Salvador.
Duterte, no
right?
doubt.
El Salvador, right? It's like human rights violence. This guy is bad, boom, boom, boom. And of course, but what are the people within the country saying? If the people within that community, like in Davao, Philippines, they're now saying this is the safest.
Thank you.
They're now saying this is the safest city in Asia.
Davao?
Yeah. Well, when he was the mayor of Davao.
When he was the mayor of Davao.
Before he became.
Well, of course, what he'd enforce it. What would he do?
Oh my goodness, this is wild.
Like
right?
cut your hand off,
bruh. So one of my best friends, long-term missionary in Davao, married a Filipina. He has his ministry there.
And Davao is highly Muslim, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, part of the Philippines. So again, everyone on the outside has their opinion on how this guy is the worst thing, but everyone in Davao is like, I used to not be able to walk out of my door. I couldn't let my wife and daughter go down the street, and now if we feel like it's the safest country in Asia.
Mm-hmm.
And even look at like the stats, and the stats would back that up, right? So all the locals are saying something different, but bro, it was wild, extreme. You never want to, and this is what's tough for us as believers, right? It's the domain of government, and we always have to stand on the side of mercy. But for them in their domain and what they have to do, it was wild. It was tough. It was horrendous. It was nightmare. Like if that was me, I would have been one of those ones just left dead body in the street as an example of a criminal, without a second chance, without due process. But what they were saying is, from their side, they were saying the cancer is so bad, the corruption is so bad, we had to take this extreme measures, and they would have things like, what they call the Davao Death Squad, and just extreme measures for extreme times. And we hope to never have to see that. But I don't justify that. I'm just using that as an example of opinions from within, from without, right? And I think for you as an American that's here, that has to live with the reality of the decisions that are made, it's very different from someone who's maybe coming from the outside. But a lot of the stuff that we're seeing now is even coming from within. But then why do you have a different flag when you're burning stuff? Why do you have, that's the tough part. And I think if we're in a wild time right now with AI. We're in a wild time. We are in a new horizon.
Oh yeah.
And the world is changing every day. And I personally, I think that America being the last man standing, you want somebody who is willing to not back down, if anything.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the president is the one that will not back down. And I mean, when you look at, okay, let's look at the powers. Let's look at the personalities of the powers. You got to look at Iran, the Ayatollah.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you got to look at Xi from China. You got to look at Putin from Russia.
Yeah.
You got to look at Rocket Man.
Yeah.
You got to look at him.
He's still out there, bro.
Right, from North Korea. He's not getting the press he wants, but
right.
You got 4 major: North Korea, China, Russia, Iran, and now we got this debacle called Ukraine. You got that, and now you got Israel, right? Israel is, I don't know what's going to happen today when we're looking at Israel is dominating Iran right now. You have all of this. Who you want in office? I'm glad we got this guy in office. Okay? And it's a time like this where, you know, here's one of the reasons why I respect him, is he has the office of faith in America. There's never been an office of faith. We've never had that. And we even have him proclaiming the name of Jesus in the White House. That's incredible. That's incredible. That's unheard of. So I was in Washington, D.C. about a month ago. I was invited to the office of faith.
Okay.
I went with 9 other pastors that were invited, and they're trying to get as many clergy there as possible. Clergy, even Muslim clergy.
Wow.
They're trying to get Catholics, Muslims, Mormons, Protestants, evangelicals, trying to get us all there because they're creating the office of faith.
Wow.
They want America to return to faith again. And I got to respect that. And I was in the room.
Wow.
So I loved it. So I love our country.
With 45?
Yeah, 47.
47. Is that okay?
That's it.
Updated.
Yeah, he's 45 and 47.
What was that like?
No. 47 wasn't there.
Oh, 47 wasn't there.
He was in Saudi Arabia.
Roger that. Yeah. See, those type of things are interesting.
Like
if you gotta give the fact that man's a worker. You know what I mean? Like the man is working.
Oh, he's working.
How?
I don't know. I mean, he should sleep. Think about it.
The work ethic is remarkable at that age.
He's making like the pavement that he's creating in the Middle East for something like this to take place. The credibility that he has right now is important for the whole world, not just America first. For the whole world. Let's get back to it. Let's get back to me and you. Okay, so how did... Meanwhile, back at the ranch, okay, so you're in Toronto, and then now God calls you back to go to YWAM and work with young people again.
Yep, calls us back 2017. And I'll just say this, though, too. That 7 years in my hometown was incredible. You know, I think local pastoring, I always say this, it was some of the hardest ministry, but it was the sweetest fruit. Because you got to see not only people coming to the Lord like we would when we're just straight preaching the gospel, but now through the local church context, getting to watch as they now lead their families to the Lord. You're there when they, you're there in the hard times when there's a problem, but you're also there to officiate the wedding and there when the baby's born and watching this beautiful God story unfold. But I knew that there was still work to be done in the nations, and go back 2017, and the whole time we're still able to do strikes. We're doing a lot in India at this time. You know, sometimes like look at there's windows, there's windows of opportunity. And at that time, we were just seeing so much harvest and response. You listen to a guy like Randy Clark, and he'll tell you there was times when they would hold meetings before and no one would show up, right? But now there's a window in India where the fields would be packed, like 40,000 in a cricket field, just coming to and because it's that 1 Corinthians 4:20, the real 4:20, where the kingdom of God is not fanciful speech, but the demonstration of the Spirit's power. And so we would see so many people come to the Lord Bibles distributed, started micro businesses with Muslim widows, like just amazing work. We're planting a campus there. But then we ended up seeing so much fruit. So many people come to the Lord that sadly, we got blacklisted. That was tough. And it was at that time, it was morning because we had a word for at least 1 million. And at that time, I think we had seen just over 100,000 coming to the Lord and getting discipled and plugged in and all. But I'm grieving like a death when I get that news. You know?
They've clamped down in India.
And yeah.
Kicked out Christian organizations. And
Maudi's clamping down. So it wasn't just us. And at that time, I mean, I was on sabbatical back in Kona after 7 years back in my hometown, and I'm on sabbatical, and I get the news after all this work in India that we had gotten blacklisted. I'm grieving, and then the Lord speaks to my heart. He says, Christophe, we don't die, we multiply. Where can we find other workers that would be willing to go into the ripe harvest and get blacklisted if that happens to them, or pay the ultimate price of their life if they needed to? Kind of the picture I had, I don't know if you remember that movie, 21, but it was based off a true story where they would train the MIT math team.
Okay.
And they would learn how to count cards.
Okay. Yeah. Never saw it, but I heard about it.
But yeah, it's based off a true story. The true story is actually crazier than the movie, but it was like a team you could try like for volleyball, and and then you would go down and whatever you could before you got, because then the casinos could reserve the right to blacklist you from the casinos, and you would just be off the team, and however much you made in your tenure, you'd be done, and then someone else that was on the bench would come back in. And that was the picture I had. I was like, okay, we're just going to create, we don't die, we multiply. Where can we find more that even if Maudi is clamping down and blacklisting, that we could still just keep sending waves? And that's when I looked at, out my window, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is one of the largest missions campuses in the world right now. What better place to train up and send into this ripe harvest? So that's when we decided to stay back be based out of there in YWAM Kona.
Mm-hmm.
And
would it be safe to say, we can edit it out if we can't, but safe to say that missions organizations are still sending missionaries into places where they've been banned from, but just more covertly?
Yeah. If we need to, we can edit it out. Of course.
You tell me after.
Yeah. So that is a great question. And I will just say this, that the gospel from the beginning has been going in and is still going in.
Yeah.
All
from
over
the time we've been smuggling Bibles into Russia, right?
Yeah. It's still happening right now. And we have just this love movement that is in some of the most hard to get in places.
So you go from YWAM Kona, and then you end up being called to the Middle East.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Yeah. So, like I was saying, this is one of the most wild times right now that we're in human history.
No kidding, bro. Okay, why is it? Tell me for the audience.
Yeah.
Tell us why it's wild right now.
Yeah, I just think that we're in the fulfillment of so much biblical prophecy, from Israel not being a nation to all of a sudden, can a nation be born in a day? A nation being born out of dry bones, Ezekiel 37, real life. And all of a sudden, all the implications of that, just the acceleration of the gospel going out right now on the earth.
Yeah.
And if we're saying there's one worker for every 400,000 in the Arab world, and okay, so in the 1040 window, you have 97% of the world's 3 billion unreached.
97% of the world's
3 billion unreached.
What's the 1040 window for the audience?
So this is the degrees of longitude and latitude. So you have, if you could think about Middle East, North Africa, Central Asia, all the way over to Russia and China, and kind of that kind of window of the world. There's other words for it that have traditionally been used, like a part of the world that for some reason has historically been resistant to the gospel. Remember, the light shines the brightest in the darkest places.
Mm-hmm.
So we have in this part of the world, but let's say even go a little bit closer into the Arab world, and we'll say we have one worker for every 400,000, right? But at the same time, if in this 97% of the world's unreached, we only have 3.3% of the world's missionaries going. to where people don't have access to the gospel. So this is if somebody has a dream about Jesus, or somebody's listening to a podcast, or they click onto an Inspire Church, sermon, and they're like, I want to know more. Who can they go to find out more, to get a Bible, to get discipled, right? So that means that's technically, less than 1%. Some other orgs maybe have it under 2% Christian in a people group. That's the technical term. So how is it that 97% of the world's unreached are only getting this small little micro fraction of the workers going to them to give the gospel, right? Maybe because it's hard. Maybe because the other easier places are taken.
Right.
I'm not sure.
Maybe you could lose your head.
Maybe there's a real cost. You know what I mean?
And that's, a real
because
cost.
there's bombs going on right now.
Right.
So, but this has been something burning on our heart for a long time. And again, we're doing different trips and different projects like Myanmar and Pakistan, and throughout the whole time that we're based out of Kona. But still, this burning desire to see a wave. We have, this is wild. Even just within our own org, that my friend did a study, our 30 largest campuses, and saw that there's around 25% of our long-term staff that have a call to the Middle East that haven't gone yet. Yeah. Because it's hard.
They're holding off.
It's hard. Man, look at right now. There's bombs. Like, it's real.
Yeah.
And but this has been burning on my heart for us to go.
Okay.
And the harvest is ripe. The laborers are few. So we know it's not a harvest issue. It's a laborers issue.
It's a labor issue. So the Middle East is Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Uzbekistan.
Those would be more Central Asia. The stands are more Central Asia.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Iraq, Iran.
Yemen. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yes. So yeah, it's.
It is hard.
Yes.
It's definitely hard.
Yeah. But I have this.
But there's a way.
There's a way. And at the same time, when we see that Matthew 9, that it's the harvest is ripe, that's now so real. It's so real because of the numbers. The fastest growing church in the world is in Iran. That's fast forwarding a little bit because we go to finally move down. We're saying, okay, enough is enough. And this is what's wild, because if no one's going, what is Jesus? Leadership. You're like, you're pound for pound. We're talking about pound for pound leadership. Okay, what's Jesus's leadership? Jesus's leadership is not passive.
Mm-hmm.
He's not the type to wait and say, okay, I'll wait, for someone to stand up. If no one's doing it, he himself steps in and starts doing it. Right. So he starts showing up physically. In dreams or in a vision while someone's awake, or physically. Like one of my first friends I met in Lebanon, Mohammed from Syria. Nice to meet you. Mohammed, you're from Syria. How did you get saved? Someone shared, this is him telling me, okay, day one, I'm coming to speak at a TTS, Monday morning before class. He said, well, someone shared the gospel with me. I declined. I said, sorry, I'm a Muslim. And then I left, and then Jesus physically appeared to me and confirmed the gospel. That's how I'm saved. And now my family is also. Jesus' leadership is initiatory. He's a servant leader. Yes, so he's willing to do it. But he's stepping in. He's like, okay, where are you at, church? Where are you at? The harvest is ripe.
Oh, yeah.
The laborers are few. So I feel like our role is to just to partner with the initiatory servant leadership of Jesus into this ripe harvest.
So right now, at this at the recording of this podcast, we got Iran and Israel at war.
Yes.
Okay. And right now, by all accounts of what we know, Iran's defense is totally done. Okay. They're one step away from having their whole nuclear program annihilated, finished. One step away as we speak. We don't know what it's going to be like when this comes out. The largest church that's growing in the world today is the underground church of Iran. What's the connection?
So we go last year. We met right at the time I was launching out. I stopped by here in Oahu, right?
Yep.
And we go to Lebanon. Thank God we get the intel ahead of time. It's about to escalate. This is before we knew about the whole pager. That whole
That's wild. Crazy. Pager blow up.
Bruh, the most Hebrew thing in the world is have your enemies pay to take them out.
Right.
They're buying the pay. It's wild. It's wild.
Well, it started off with cell phone first, right?
I think it was pagers first. Pagers and then walkie-talkies. Because they didn't want cell phones. They didn't want to be tracked.
Right.
But so we get the information ahead of time. It's about to get bad. So we pivot. We don't go to Lebanon. We go to Armenia. Armenia shares a border with Iran.
Okay.
And again, we're hearing these reports of that it's the fastest growing church in the world. And there's a hunger. Of course, there's nuance there as to why. I mean, Shiite Muslim is different than Sunni. Shiite would maybe more be like the charismatic, they believe in miracles, whereas the Sunni would be more as the cessationist branch. So now when they're fasting, praying, Ramadan, whatever, and they're having dreams, they're paying attention to the dreams. Whereas maybe the Sunni might have a dream of the man in white, but be more quick to dismiss it or not put weight on it. But this is happening. The other factor is, again, the enemy has no self-control because self-control is the fruit of the spirit. So the oppressive regime in Iran is such that, I mean, one of my friends, I won't say his name,
Don't.
but he was, to the point where he was willing to crash out and just whatever acts of violence he could in protest before being killed as a secular Muslim, as a non-believing atheist, but just that's how oppressive the regime is. And in that level of oppression, coming from all the different sides, it's creating a hunger in the people to find out what is truth, what is the meaning of life. And there's this openness.
Yeah.
And it's wild. It reminds me of Exodus. The more Pharaoh oppressed them, the more they multiplied.
Yeah.
And I think also getting back to the Kairos time that we're in. So there's all these factors playing in, right? And just like God, to use as a miracle, as a sign and a wonder, one of the most difficult places on the earth to have one of the greatest accelerated harvests, right? And then this is the other thing, bro, is my sense from just being in that part of the world and having many friends from Iran and that are very connected with the church there, is that this regime, when it falls, that there's going to be a massive wave of Iranian believers coming out to the rest of the Muslim world with signs and wonders and miracles confirming the gospel.
Woo. I believe it, bro. I can see it.
Yeah.
I can see it happening.
Yeah.
And they're going to need a lot of help.
Yeah.
A lot of help. Because even though the regime falls, it's still going to be pockets.
Right. And that's the other thing we have to pray for. Is that it doesn't get worse after like maybe Syria or, what happened with Iraq when the Ba'ath Party fell and ISIS comes out of that. But no, I think that I think the enemy's in a type of panic mode as well. Mm-hmm. Kind of, again, reminds me of the Exodus time where, Pharaoh's killing all these babies, or the time of Herod at the birth of Jesus when the enemy's panicking and causing all of this death, at a crucial time when life is happening and the kingdom is advancing and God loves the people of Iran.
Yes, he does.
He's so passionate about them. And you can just see it by his extreme, over the top willingness to go and love them and meet them where they're at,
The Persians, man.
The Persians.
When you think about, Nehemiah, Esther, they all came out of that region, right? Mm-hmm. And how they were actually kind to the Jewish people. It's crazy. It's amazing. It's amazing.
There's a history there. There's it's an ancient people.
Cyrus the Great.
Cyrus the Great. Yeah. I think there's an interesting thing to be said too about just being in that part of the world is so different because it's so much history. We're talking about Isaac and Ishmael.
Oh, bro, it's ancient. The ancient world.
Ancient, yeah.
Fertile Crescent.
Yeah.
Mesopotamia.
And fertile in the spirit.
Yeah.
It's the harvest is right now. I'm going to use that. Let's go. It's the Fertile Crescent.
I wish we had another hour, but I got to go. And you got to go. We got to get ready for tonight. But hey, everybody, listen. You've been listening to the Pound for Pound Leader podcast right now. And it has been a joy to have Christophe Ulissi here. And grateful for you. Thankful for all that you do.
Can I say something before we close?
Yeah.
I'm going to say something real quick. So we were talking about not only is it tough, it's tough, right? So there's such a few minute percent of workers that are going to this part of the world, the 1040 window, the greatest need, but also even too, it's just the global church. I think it's like 0.5% of our finances. I'm not sure if that's just America. I think that's just from America are being sent to the unreached, to this 97%. And I think more money is spent on golf balls every year. More money is spent on Halloween costumes for pets
Oh my
than it
God.
is to reach the
Are
unreached
you
with the
serious?
gospel, right? But check this out. Inspired Church is one of those few of that small percentage of churches that's thinking on these lines of the heart of Jesus.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful for you, for Inspired Church, for all of you, because you guys are helping in one of the most incredible, unprecedented times of harvest that we've ever seen on planet Earth. And you guys are some of the few that are helping make it happen.
Amen. Amen. Hey, so listen, if they wanted to support you guys specifically, you're going to provide us with the details. We can put it up on the show notes.
Let's get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining me. Thank you for speaking to our young adults and youth tomorrow night. Appreciate it, bro. Take care, everybody. Aloha.
Aloha.